You're all very welcome. Delighted to see you here. So if you have any questions, I would encourage you to pop them into the Q&A and I'll take a look. Or if you want to say anything in the chat, feel free as well. You might want to tell us where you're from or if you have any comments to make as I'm going through the webinar. Okay. So I know it's probably lunchtime for a lot of you, so I'm not going to take too much time out of your day. I hope to get through all of this in about, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, and then we'll see how we get on after that, okay? I have a slideshow, and just to keep me in track, because I don't want to go off on a tangent, and you will get access to this recording afterwards, and I will follow up with any links that we cover and also your discount for attending, for registering, okay? So without further ado, let me get moving. So if you don't know me already, my name is Jan Carroll, and I'm the founder of Fortify Institute. And we offer training and certification in cybersecurity, information security, cloud security, and ethical hacking. And we have been lucky to partner with training bodies such as UCD Professional Academy and Chevron College, offering their diplomas in cybersecurity. And we also partner with industry certification providers such as EC Council, Cloud Security Alliance, and most recently PECB. Okay, so that's what I'm going to focus on today. So when we partnered with PECB, it's something that I had been working towards for a while because I'm quite familiar with PECB training and the quality of PECB training, especially around ISO standards and certifications. So when the opportunity arose to actually partner with PECB, become a trainer with PECB, and also become a training partner, so I could offer their actual courses. Of course, I jumped at it, and yeah, so I did pursue it, and we are lucky enough that we can offer live training, but also the e-learning training. Okay, and I am currently working towards the ISO 42001 certification using the e-learning training. Okay, so I wouldn't recommend something to you unless I could stand over it. And that's what I've been doing. And it's not my first certification I've taken with PECB. I also hold the ISO 27001 lead implementer, the PECB training certification, and recently I took the ISO 27035, which is incident management certification. Okay, so you can go on to the main PECB website, okay, and you can look at the offerings. But if you want to take a course, you need to do that through a partner, okay? And Fortify Institute can offer any of the e-learning options that are there. All right, I know I focus on a couple, but that's just to, kick things off. But if there's any of the e-learning courses you're interested in, get in touch and we can make that happen. All right. You will also see that PECB offer a huge range of certifications, training. They're not all linked to ISO. And if there's anything in their broad range of training and certifications that you're interested in, even if it's not part of the e-learning, we can still offer that to you, whether we do it on a live, like either in person or remote, or there's also the option to do it as a self-learn. Okay, and a self-learn means you get access to all the content through the app, and I'm going to demo the app, the Kate app, in a few minutes. You get access to everything. You also get the training and the certification. All right. So it's a good option if you feel you've already got a good bit of experience in the particular area and you just need to, you know, work through it, and you're pretty motivated, self-motivated. If you're somebody that definitely, you know yourself well enough that you know you need a live course, you need somebody like me making you get through it, get in touch again. If it makes sense, if there's a few people that are in the same boat, whether within your organization or if it's a popular enough course that I can, you know, I can enroll a number of participants, we can do that as well. Okay. And I definitely see that happening for the likes of the lead implementer, lead auditor for both ISO 27001 and 42001. Okay. So this is talking about why choose PECB e-learning with Fortify Institute. Yeah, it's just the benefits of e-learning. And when I started the company, one of the main objectives I had was to remove barriers to learning and to education, because my background is in adult and community education. And I don't see the benefit of making education hard to access, making it exclusive. But having an e-learning option of this quality is fantastic. Okay. And I know in Ireland, and you can go on and look at my blog posts about it, there are lots of subsidized and free training options, especially around cybersecurity and information security. But but PECB have put together these training programs, and they are also quite affordable. Okay, relatively affordable when you look at the other options that are out there as well. Okay, so they are globally recognized and accredited. Okay, they cover a wide range of topics. The learning is flexible. Okay, so you get to decide the pace of this learning. The programs that we're looking at today, the likes of the ISO 27001, lead implementer, lead auditor, if they were delivered in a live class, it would take 4 to 5 days, 4 days. Okay, it would actually be 4 days of learning, and then the 5th day would be the exam. The foundation courses would be 2-day courses and then an exam on the 3rd day. So just to give you an idea of the type of how much time you should be making for these courses. So it's up to you whether you do it 1 hour a week, 1 day a week, or if you, you know, you dedicate more time to it, right? And personally, when I do them, I would take about 4 weeks, because I'm not a big fan of intensive 4-day courses, even 5-day courses. So I would like to space it out over the 4 or 5 weeks, but you know how you work. So that's the flexible learning, and then the comprehensive support. So you get the full support from PECB and the PECB support team. You also have me to offer support as well. Okay. So I'm here if you want just somebody to check in with, or if there's certain things that you're finding challenging, or just somebody to, you know, if you want to tell me how you're getting on, or if you got to the end of your course, if you passed your course, whatever. Okay. I love hearing that, and it motivates me then as well. Okay. So yeah, I'm always there for you, but practically I don't do the practical support that comes from PECB. The complete range of e-learning certifications. So I've said already that there is the broad range of certifications from PECB. They're not all available. The full range isn't available in e-learning, but the e-learning courses that are available, we can offer. Okay, Fortify Institute can offer any of those e-learning courses, and we can have you up and running like within a couple of hours. Okay, once you enroll on a course and put the payment through, I just need to add you. I just need to enroll you on the course. All right, so there's no delay. This slide just shows some of the most popular ones, but if you want to find all of them, click on this link here. So if you go in to the Fortify Institute website and go to PECB courses, from here you can see we've highlighted the most popular ones, but if you go all the way down, you'll see all the courses that are available in e-learning format at the moment. Now, PECB is adding to this range all the time. And if there is any courses in the broader PECB range, let me know, because that you're interested in, let me know, because we can offer them as the self-learn. And the difference with the self-learn is it's still on demand. You still do it at your own pace, but you don't get access to the videos that you do with the e-learning. Okay, so you still got all the resources, all the content, the exams, and the extra exam. And what I mean by the extra exam is if you don't pass the first exam, and that's not unusual, okay? Because often when we're, especially if you're returning to learning after a while, and you're a bit out of practice with how these types of exams work, and you may not be successful the first time round. But the good thing about these PECB courses is you get an exam repeat completely free. Okay, it's included as part of the bundle, and you've up to 12 months to take that. All right. Now, if you find yourself in a situation where you don't pass first time round, that's when you need to get in touch with me, and I can give you a bit of advice on how to be successful the next time. Okay. And I haven't always been successful the first time round. And that's just definitely, I know the most recent one I wasn't successful the first time round, you know. And what else? Yeah, so that's just knowing about the different courses, and we'll talk a bit more about what is involved, what is included in the training. So the popular ones include ISO IEC 27001 Lead Implementer course. Okay. So if you are somebody who wants to add to their skills, you may already be in information security or in cybersecurity, or maybe even in compliance, and you want to learn how to implement an information security management system, this would be a really good course to take, okay? Because this is all about implementation. A lot of it is looking at the standard, okay? So the ISO 27001 is the standard, and being able to basically look at that and look at what your organization currently has, look at the objectives and the business needs for your organization, and then create essentially a gap analysis. And from there, you are going to put measures in place to meet the objectives of your organization. And the reason I say it like that is the standard is what you hope to achieve, but different organizations will do that in different ways, okay? And that's the way it works with a lot of the ISO standards. It isn't you have to do exactly this, because it's going to be different for different organizations. And that's the whole point of implementing your information security management system. The other thing that you need to be aware of is if you're an organization that is within scope for NIS2 or DORA, implementing an information security management system such as 27001 is one of the recommendations within the DORA directive, or sorry, within the NIS2 directive. And it's not only for the organizations that are within scope, it's also for the supply chain. Okay, so you may not be directly in scope, but if you are providing a service to an organization which is in scope, it would make sense to implement an information security management system such as ISO to just help you stay competitive and not lose clients. Now there is, you may not be aware of it yet, but the National Cybersecurity Centre is recommending that organisations who are in scope for NIS2, that they comply with the Cyber Fundamentals standard, and that's up on the National Cybersecurity Centre. But I was speaking to some representatives from the National Cybersecurity Centre recently, and I was asking them who is going to audit organisations who are complying or who are striving to comply with Cyber Fundamental Standard, and it hasn't been finalised yet. But what they said is in Brussels or in Belgium, where it was the Belgian National Cybersecurity Centre who developed this Cyber Fundamental Standard. But in Belgium, it's usually ISO 27001 auditors who also audit for the Cyber Fundamentals. Okay, so if you're someone who is looking to become an auditor, this is a really good area to get skilled up in, because there's going to be, now this is what I think, okay, this is what I think. Don't quote me, but it is my opinion. I think there's going to be a lot more requirements for auditors, for ISO 27001 auditors, in order to carry out audits in the Cyber Fundamentals. Okay, and yeah, so following on, you have your lead implementer and then your lead auditor. So your lead implementer would be if you want to implement the information security management system, and then an auditor would be somebody who has the role in a large organization. You could be an internal auditor, but usually you would be carrying out audits as an independent third party for an auditing organization, as part, carrying out audits and compliance to reach the particular standards. Okay. There's also a foundation course in both the ISO 27001 and the 42001, and that would be, it gives a really good overview for maybe if you're a manager or you're a leader and you want to know what's all this information security management system, but you're never actually going to be somebody who's going to be implementing it or doing the auditing. If you are interested in doing the auditing, the lead implementer or the lead auditor courses, you don't need to do the foundation. It's not a prerequisite. It's a separate one. Okay. Because I know sometimes people come to me and say, oh, I want to do the foundation, then I want to do the lead implementer, then I want to do the lead auditor. Well, you don't need to do that. You can go straight to the lead implementer if you're, at the moment I'm doing the lead implementer for 42001, and then I will follow it up with the lead auditor, but it's up to you whether you think you need both of them. I don't know. You probably have, already which area you want to focus on, but me as a trainer, I want to do the both of them. Okay. But you don't necessarily, I just want to get the point across, you don't have to do the foundation if you're going to do the other two, or one of the other two. So let's move on to this, the ISO IEC 42001, which is an AI management system certification. And a lot of organizations, well, every organization now is using AI, and every organization should have an AI policy. And you need to know what AI has been used in your organization. You need to have policy around it and controls around it. One of the biggest threats that's been identified is shadow AI. And shadow AI is when, people in your organization are using AI as part of their day-to-day work, but they're not declaring it. Okay. And it's not that they are doing anything wrong. If you haven't got those policies and controls in place, well, they're not doing anything wrong. Okay. So it is important. There's also the EU AI Act. And if your organization is in scope for the AI Act, so if you are developing AI systems or services, you are likely to come within scope for the EU AI Act. And one of the recommendations of the EU AI Act is that you implement an AI management system. Okay. And this certification helps you either implement or audit these AI management systems. Okay. Now, and like I said, I'm halfway through this at the moment. It is a fascinating journey. I'm learning so much about AI and how we can look at AI and all the other connected technologies from a risk-based perspective. Okay. Yeah, so I won't go into too much. All the information about the individual certifications are available on the website if that's something you want to look into in more detail as well. Let's have a quick look at the Kate platform. And this is when you sign up or enroll in one of the courses, you get access to Kate. Okay, so Kate is the app, and they've recently updated it because before it was a separate app that you had to download. Now it's just a lot more user friendly than it was. It used to be a little bit clunky, but now it's much better. So here's the Kate app. So when you get access to the course, you get access to this Kate app. And if I go into my library, I can see all my courses. So there's all the courses I have access to. And then for e-learning, so you get access to my courses for when you attend a live course or a virtual course or a self-learn course. And then your e-learning courses are also listed as well. So if I just show you for my courses, I'm going to look at 42001 Lead Implementer. So in here you have access to all the files, all the resources, the presentations, and they're excellent quality presentations. Like there's 119 slides for day one, and they're really clear, really nice slides to learn from. And then you can also add notes. You can download your slides, and you can also add feedback as you go. All right. So that's you have access to all of those resources. And then if we look at e-learning, so I have access to the 42001, and this is where you get access to the supported recordings. Okay. And here you have a qualified trainer who, I would say the standard of trainers is fantastic. There's Graham. And they go through all of the slides then as well. And they also add their own experience carrying out the particular roles as well. Okay. And I know for the 42001, there's about 14 hours of content. You can't speed it up. That would be my bit of feedback, would be to try and speed it up, but there's no option at the moment. Might be a good thing, but yeah, so there's access to that. And then if you go back here, there's also, if you have ebooks, toolkits, insights, magazines, webinars, you can go there and enroll on webinars. And then there's also, this is really good, the info kits. Okay, so there's excellent resources or access to these info kit resources. Right. So for example, there was an update to IEC 27001 a couple of years ago, and this is a lot of supporting information around the update. Okay, but you can get access to that there. Really, I have to say the content is so good. The standard of the content is so good. All right, so that's Kate, and yeah, that's Kate. So that was the Kate app, and then the cost. So this is all available on the website as well. But in general, if it is a 4-day or 5-day course, so when you download the information, you see whether it's a 4-day or a 5-day course. And what I mean by 4-day or 5-day, a lot of the courses are 4 days of training, and then the last day is a certification. Now, you don't have to do it in 4 days or 5 days. If you have signed up to an e-learning course, you do it whenever, you do it at your own pace, but it's just for pricing, so you know. If it's a 5-day course, the pricing is $799. If it is one of the foundation courses, which are 2 or 3-day courses, they're $399. Okay, and it just means that if you're interested in any of the other courses, you have a good idea how much they're going to cost as well. When you go into any of these and you want to find out more about them, there are 2 downloads that you can look at. So for example, you have the brochure. So you have the general brochure that goes through all the content and it goes into a lot of detail. And then you have the e-learning brochure. Okay, so the e-learning just goes into a little more information about, focused on e-learning, all right, and the course structure, the examination, learning objectives, and then certification. Okay, if you want to achieving the certification through PECB, it isn't just a case that you can take the training and take the exam. There are other requirements. So for example, this is the 42,001. So for the lead implementer, there's 4 different credentials here based on where you're coming from, where you're starting from. So you can take the exam, and then if you have no experience in AI, for example, well, then you can get this certification, which is provisional implementer. If you've got 2 years, 1 year of work experience in AI, well, then you can get the implementer. If you've got 2 years of work experience in AI, and then you have to demonstrate it as well. And you also need to get somebody to vouch for you as well, right? And that's just part of that's why PECB is such a quality organization. Is, you know, they make sure that if somebody is going to say, well, I have this certification, they have proved that they have it. Okay, and you have to maintain these certifications as well with your CPD and continuous hours as well. All right, and I think that's fair enough. But if you take the training, and if you need somebody to vouch for you or whatever, get in touch with me and we can have a conversation, and we can see what we can do. Okay. As part, and in fairness, yeah, I'm just saying Stephen is there, but as part of attending today's session, I'm happy to offer you a 10% discount on the pricing that is there. So there is a coupon launch 10 for a 10% discount, and you get that off any of the PECB e-learning courses. Okay, you can sign up directly or through those links for the ISO for the 27,001 and the 42,001. You can just sign up directly through the links. So when you go on it, there's Stripe links, and then you can just use the code. If there's any of the other courses that you want to do, just get in touch with me, okay? And I will sort that out. I'll have a chat with you if you need to discuss anything, and we can go from there, okay? Please keep in touch, okay? So you can keep in touch with me directly. I'm on LinkedIn. You can email me at jan@fortifyinstitute.com, and you can reply. Yeah, you should have got an email to attend this session as well. So are there any questions? A few people here now. Oh, here we go. Stephen, you have a question. If you are qualified as a lead, would you need to also qualify and lead implementer? Yeah. They're quite different, Stephen, because the implementation is a different type of role, okay? And then auditor, you're looking at it from as a independent third party coming in and seeing does what a particular organization have meet the standards, okay? And a lot of it is down to interpretation and down to the particular objectives of that organization. So it's a different role. So I would encourage somebody, and if somebody wants the lead auditor, that to me means they want to do a different, carry out a different role. All right. Trying to think any other. Let's go back quickly, see if I've covered everything. Essentially, you would receive all the course content through Kate, and then when you go to prepare for the exams are all online. And you choose when you take the exam. You don't take the exam till you're ready to take the exam. The exam is proctored, and what that means is you have somebody remotely observing you while you take the exam. The exams are open book, okay? And what that means is that you can print out anything you need for. Thanks. I'll get that. Thanks, Stephen. You can, for any of the content you need, you can print it out. So you can only have one screen, one laptop when you're taking the exam, one digital device, but anything else can be printed out. If you're doing any of the ISO, IEC certifications, you can print out the actual certification. But so, for example, the ISO 27001 standard, that document, that's a proprietary document that you have to purchase from the PECB shop or from IEC directly. They usually cost about €150 or so, and that's nothing to do with, like, they're protected documents, and every time you purchase one of those documents, they are watermarked with your organization name on them. But you don't have to have those documents in order. You don't have to have the standard in order to do the exam or to do the training. They give you everything you need in the resources for the training and to be successful in the exam. All right, just want to be clear about that. But if you're actually going to work as an implementer or an auditor, you will have access to the actual standards through your organization. Now, a burning question. Oh, here we go, Stephen. Are there any official and certified courses on DORA? Lots of courses on offer, but none I'm seeing aligned with CBI or ECB approved. PECB has a DORA course, okay? Obviously, it's not the only DORA course, and I don't think you're going to get a course that is CBI approved. Because that's central bank putting a stamp on a course. I don't see, it's not something I see happening anytime soon. Okay, what the legislation says, both the directive and the regulation, is that senior leaders and staff need to be trained, and what they do, and it's the same with NIST too, is they put it back on the organization to decide what is trained. Okay. Does that make sense? But any of the organizations that are offering the training, okay, so I'd be fairly confident that PECB training around DORA, if they're offering it at DORA training, is comprehensive. Okay, and you can go and have a look and see, make the decision yourself. A lot of DORA and NIS2 implementation is all about not just doing the stuff, but to be seen to be doing the stuff, to be documenting that you're doing the stuff, to be reviewing that the stuff that you did meets the standard and is part of that continuous improvement. So if you're doing all of those things and you can be seen to do all those things, as far as I can tell, you're compliant. Okay, if you're not doing any of those things, you're not compliant. But it is, a lot of them, the competent authorities, both the CBI and National Cybersecurity Centre, they take a very common sense approach to this. And again, this is all my own personal opinion. Okay. ECB, yeah, European Central Bank, they're not going to choose one over the other unless it is ENISA putting out certain training. Okay, but I don't know if they're doing that yet. Now I've taken lots of training in this, and I've created training as well. And all you can do is look at the requirements and put measures in place to meet the requirements. Okay. Well, and see, when you say, like, a lot of the training is when they're accredited, what that is that they have objectives, they have the coursework, they have some sort of assessment. And if you're getting your course accredited, that's usually what they're looking at. They're not looking at the legislation to say that that course meets everything on the legislation. So just make sure when you're looking at any courses out there that they're not making claims that they shouldn't. But that's an aligned to CBI or ECB. Anyone can say they're aligned, but you won't have them. None of them will really stick their neck out as such. Anything else? Okay. So I'm going to wrap things up, and I would just say, please keep in touch. If you have any more questions about any of these courses in particular, get in touch. I'm happy to have a call with you, and feel free to, if you share the coupon, but don't post it on the likes of LinkedIn, but you can certainly let people know about it. All right. So thank you for coming today, and hopefully this has been useful. All right. So goodbye.